When is the last time I have even filmed in this spot? Like, am I back? Am I actually gonna start reading now? Let's just hope. What's up, everyone? So it's been a while since I've made a bookish video, and yes, I am hoping to get back into reading and back into making some bookish content. I know you guys have been like asking that from me for a while, and I've been wanting to give it to you, but there has been a lot of transformation in my life in the last, 2 years, I guess, since my daughter has been born. Well, I should just say like the first year my daughter was born, and then even last year, there was just a lot with like me gaining weight, you know, postpartum anxiety, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, like trying to figure out how to spend my time, how to fit, you know, self-care in. I am on a weight loss journey. I am working out at the gym now. I am just like, I'm totally transforming myself. I have a home bakery. I mean, there's just a lot going on in my life that I am loving. I know that a lot of people have always said like in your 30s is when you really start loving who you are and figuring out who you want to become and like working towards that and becoming that person. And when I first had Alice, like that's the year I turned like 31, and now I'm 33. And in the last couple of years, I've just been like, okay, where's my life going? Why do I feel like I'm going backwards? But once you find what truly makes you happy and you find like what actually is going to be your self-care, man, your transformation just gets so beautiful, and I love it. Like, I'm just so happy, and I am back to wanting to read and get back into reading and talk to you guys about books. I'm not going to be like bringing back my book channel, I don't think, because I just don't think I would have time to put out that many videos. I'm trying to be very consistent here on my main channel, but that just means that you'll also get bookish content here, and lifestyle content, and bakery content, and all of the content. Today's video, I wanted to talk about September and probably October hopefuls. I don't know if I want to call it a TBR. I mean, I guess it's always a TBR, but I want to talk about hopefuls of books that I have had on my TBR, like on my Goodreads TBR. I don't really have much of a physical TBR. I've been getting a lot of books from the library, and this is all my little free library books. There are hopefuls of books that have been on my Goodreads TBR, or even that are coming out. Maybe I got a couple things from NetGalley, or even things that I've noticed on my little free library shelf that maybe my reading has changed a little bit, and I want to try out a couple different things. I'm actually in a bookish team challenge in my online book club. I have a book club on Facebook. It is still running. It is still very fun. We do a lot of fun challenges. I'm actually going to be doing a whole like challenge. I think it's in January, I believe, with my whole TBR card game, which I know a lot of you guys have bought that for me from Etsy, and right now it's just like digital just because I don't have time to make all the cards. But I'm going to be offering that in the book club for everyone to play together, which is going to be very, very fun and exciting. The link to join that book club is down below. It's very fun. We would love to have you if you want to come join and do TBR challenges, readathons, parties on Zoom, like lots of different things. Now, I do want to talk about books that I have on my hopefuls, but since I have a 2-year-old, and if you're watching this, you probably are a bookish person, I also want to kind of talk about some books that I got from the library for her bookshelf. So I thought we could talk about her hopefuls, which her hopefuls are always going to be Bread, because she literally loves books, loves reading. We have read thousands and thousands and thousands of books with her. So I picked up a huge stack with her, with some fall books, some Halloween books, some of her favorite things right now to read, which is like 𝑚aisie by Lucy Cousins, and I picked up a couple other Lucy Cousin books. She also really loves like Pete the Cat. I mean, she loves a lot of things, but 𝑚aisie has been like her all-time favorite. So first, let's go through my library list, and then I will show you what I got for my daughter. That way, if you're not interested in that part, you can skip the second half of this video. Also, I'm drinking the 𝑁𝒉𝒆 Organic Rooibos tea. It is so good. I've loved this tea for so long. It is amazing with honey and milk in it. So I have some books on my Kindle that we'll go over. I have some books that I got from the library that we'll go over. And then I have a couple books that have been on this shelf that I want to talk about that are very hopeful. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like them. I don't know if I'm going to continue reading them. Let's just start from the beginning. So I picked this up at the library today because I've read Freida McFadden in the past. I believe this is one of her newest ones. Yeah, 2025. I've read a lot of her other books. Some of them I've really liked, some of them have just been like meh. But the thing that I like about her is that it's easy to like jump into her book and read it or listen to it. And recently that's just like what is the best for me. I've been listening to like a lot of the short stories that Lucinda Berry has been putting out. I've had like audios for those and they're good. I mean, it's not like it's like these amazing thrillers that are gonna like knock your socks off, but they're just very enjoyable, especially since they're like short. And so I wanted to have like an enjoyable or at least easy reading, fast-paced thriller. And so I picked this one up. I believe it kind of sounded a little bit like No Exit, although I will be honest that I try not to read synopsises anymore. I have found that it has made my reading much more enjoyable. Like I will read a synopsis to put it like on my Goodreads TBR, and then obviously like 8 months later when I decide to read that book, I will not read the synopsis again. Like I will just start the book. Or I will just see a book and someone recommends it to me and I will just put it on my TBR. So then this one I think I'm going to really enjoy. I believe this is a memoir and it says How I Found Life and Freedom on Death Row. So I actually think that this is about someone that's innocent that went to jail and spent many years in jail, and then finally I think they found out his innocence. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what it's about. That's just what I think I remember reading about this book. I read The Many Lives of Mama June, actually, I think it was in the spring, and I liked it. I think I gave it 4-ish stars. And ever since then, we've actually been watching 60 Days In, which is like a reality TV show of regular people that go into jail to kind of like fix the jail and, you know, tell them like what's happening in the jail. We have really loved that. So I feel like reading another memoir that's going to be talking about like maybe jail system, their time in jail, is going to be very interesting. And it's not like a huge book, and memoirs are usually pretty easy for me to fly through. I should probably say that I would love to also get back into doing videos of like wrap-ups. I don't know if I'll be able to do them very consistently, but I know that there's been books that I've read this year that you guys probably would have wanted to know my thoughts on. I read the second one of this, by the way, and I really loved it. So the first one and the second one, I believe I gave both 4 stars. This is the third one. I believe it's the last one of the series. But I've heard that this one focuses on Alzheimer's, I believe. Kind of was a little bit of a focus in the recent, who wrote Just for the Summer? Abby Jimenez. Whatever her recent one was, not Just for the Summer, it was, I can't remember the name of it. I'm really bad with titles nowadays, but there was like a Alzheimer's kind of part of that book. And when I heard that this was about that as well, I was very intrigued. I mean, even though I've loved the other two, like I was very intrigued then that I might actually like this one maybe the most, just because I find that that's very emotional if you have like a mom or dad or whoever it is that has Alzheimer's, and just like what it's like to live with that. So I'm very excited for this one, and I know that one of my friends read it. My friend Brandy, she like loves this whole series. Next up, I would like to try reading Beartown. I've had this recommended to me many times. I've never read a Friedrich Bachmann book. And of all of the ones people told me to read this one, I know that it's about hockey, and I know that people have said it kind of has cult vibes, even though I know I'm not going into it with like, this is going to be some dark cult book. Like I understand kind of like the writing of Friedrich, but yeah, so hopefully I like this. This is actually what I'm going to be reading on audio, like starting now. Then I had never heard of this book before, but again, my one friend Brandy, I saw her post about it. She gave it 5 stars, and she said it was like very emotional and really good. It's actually, it doesn't look that big, and so I think this probably just came out, but I added it to my TBR because when someone says like emotional and things like that, I want to read it. So I'll just read the first part here. It says, Ryan and Lillian are deeply in love, recently married and now parents to a baby girl, but Lillian has a son she hasn't told Ryan about, and Ryan has an alcohol addiction he hasn't told Lillian about. So Georgette comes of age watching their marriage rise and fall. So yeah, this sounds really, really good. Something that I feel like I would really like. So I'm excited for that. Let me pull up a couple of the other ones that I like definitely want to read that are on my Kindle. One of the Amazon first reads that I got this month is called Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose. This is supposed to be, I think, like a hate to love romance, but also with zombies and post-apocalyptic vibes, which I love, like end of the world stuff. I don't necessarily like hate to love tropes, but I'm willing to overlook that because of just like the amazing part of the synopsis, like of the apocalyptic and zombies. So I did get that. Then I've heard a lot of people talk about Dinner for Vampires, which is also, it says Life on a Cult TV show. Now, I forget exactly what TV show this actress was on, but I didn't watch it and I don't really know anything about this actress, but I've heard a lot of people like say that the book is really good, and obviously I always love good cult stories, and so between it being a memoir and about cults, I was gonna go ahead and try this one. I have the new Chevy Stevens book called The Hitchhikers. I believe this comes out in October. I don't know much about it other than I've seen a couple early reviews and they've given it 5 stars, and I have previously liked Chevy Stevens books, like Those Girls I gave 5 stars. I was able to get this on NetGalley, and I do have plans on doing a reading vlog for it. So you should hopefully see that in the next few weeks. I do want to read the 5 a.m. Club. I have been waking up at 4 a.m. on bake days when I do my home bakery, and I just love that peace and quiet while I'm baking. And so I saw people talk about this book, and I was wondering if I could make it part of my day to wake up a little bit earlier, and whether, I don't really know what this book is about in what you need to do when you wake up at 5 a.m. But even just me waking up maybe at like 6 a.m. to read a book, drink my coffee in peace. I always love like good self-help books, and I haven't read one in a while. There's another memoir, if you can tell I must be in a memoir mood, but Semi-Well Adjusted. This is by Allison Stoner. If you've seen like the Step It Up movies, or I mean, she was I think on like Disney and stuff like that. I've seen her in a lot of stuff like growing up, but anyway, this is her memoir, and I actually started it yesterday. I didn't get to read much. It says I'm at like 3%, but I know I'm going to love it. Like there was trigger warnings in the beginning, and just like I think I'm just gonna be shocked by child actor and, you know, her telling her story now that she's grown. So very excited about that. There is a thriller book called The Overnight Guest by Heather Gudenkoff. I've just heard really good reviews on that from just scrolling, and so I wanted to try that one out. Then A Marriage at Sea by Sophie Elmhurst. This one just came out, I think, but it sounds so good. There was another like island romance book, On the Island, I think is what it was called. I gave it 5 stars, absolutely loved it. This kind of reminds me of it, and so I'm very excited to read that and see how it is. And then I think lastly here on my Kindle is We Are All Guilty Here by Karen Slaughter. This is the new Karen Slaughter that just came out, and it's not like part of one of her other series that has been going on. So I felt comfortable in like wanting to pick this one up because I've read like Pretty Girls and really loved it, and The Good Daughter and stuff. But a lot of her other books I never pick up because they're already part of like the Will Trent series and stuff like that, and I haven't started those, plus I'm not very good at series. So I do want to read this new one, and I have heard from some of you that it's very good. Now there's a couple other books. These are from like my little free library, and then 3 that I saw at the dollar store that I got for the little free library, but also maybe I would try them out. This is one that I picked up at a little free library just like last week. It's called True Places. It says, a girl emerges from the woods, starved, ill, and alone, and collapses. Suzanne hurdles along the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is local to me, away from her overscheduled and completely normal life, and encounters the girl. As Suzanne rushes her to the hospital, she never imagines how the encounter will change her. And then it's like Suzanne has this perfect life and whatever. So it actually sounded very intriguing to me. So that's why I picked it up from the little free library, and if I don't read it, I'll just put it back in a little free library. Then this one has been on my little free library shelf for a while. Jojo Moyes' The Last Letter from Your Lover. This is like a historical fiction in the 1960s, and it's about this Jennifer girl. She wakes up in the hospital, remembers nothing, not even the car accident that put her there, not her wealthy husband. That always sounds really good because I love amnesia. So I've been wanting to try this one out. Then this is one that I got at the dollar store for $1.50. It's called Girl 1. Josephine Morrow is Girl 1, the first of 9 miracle babies conceived without male DNA on an experimental commune known as the Homestead. And I love like dystopian type books, and this sounded really good. Then we have Amazing Grace Adams. This is a read with Jenna pick. It says, Grace Adams gave birth to her daughter, blinked, and now suddenly is no longer in her 20s. One hot summer day, stuck in traffic on her way to pick up the cake for her daughter's 16th birthday party, she has had enough of men staring at her in their catcalls, enough of putting her professional aspirations on hold while her husband's career takes off. She finally snaps and she like walks away from her whole life. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And Any Other Family, I just feel like these covers are just beautiful. This is, though they look like any other family, they aren't one, not quite. They are 3 sets of parents who find themselves intertwined after adopting 4 biological siblings, having committed to keeping the children as connected as possible. Now, of all of the ones, this is probably the one that I would read the least, but still, I thought these were like beautiful books that I could put out in my little free library, and for only $1.50, like why not? That is all of my like hopefuls. I'm gonna show you the books that I got for Alice from the library, and then I'm gonna go upstairs and put them on her little shelf, and she'll be very excited. She's down for a nap right now, obviously. It is this huge bag, by the way. I'm just gonna do like rapid fire since there's so many of them. So we have Trick or Treat on Scary Street, Pig the Monster, The Scarecrow, A Very Big Fall. This is a Lucy Cousins, I'm the Best. Fall Ball, Bella's Fall Coat, In the Middle of Fall, Fall Leaves Colorful and Crunchy, It's Fall, The Secret of Fall. You can tell there's a theme. Then I do have some Halloween ones so far. Obviously I have way more Halloween ones to get at the library, but we still have some time. Click Clap Boo. Here's some Maisie ones that we haven't done yet. Maisie Dresses Up, Maisie Goes on a Sleepover, Pete the Cat, 5 Little Pumpkins, Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete, The Halloween Tree, Turkey Trick or Treat, Halloween Surprise, A House in the Woods. I just thought this was so beautiful and just looked like fall, and like with all those little creatures, it's so cute. Fall Friends. This is a Lucy Cousins, Jazzy in the Jungle. I love her art style, and I love her like writing. Like it's perfect. A lot of the Maisie books are perfect for this like 2 to 3 year old age, where it doesn't feel like a chore to read it, and it's not too long, but it's like longer than a board book. Like I really love her books a lot. Okay, I think this is the last stack. Maisie's Field Day, Maisie Goes on Vacation, Maisie Loves Trees, Maisie's Recycling Truck, 10 Spooky Pumpkins, Honk, Quack, Boo, The Biggest Pumpkin Ever, We Are Off to Find the Witch's House, Fancy Nancy, Candy Bonanza, which this will be the first Fancy Nancy that we have read. And then Peppa's Halloween Party. I think this is like the first Peppa book we've gotten. Alice doesn't like watch the show. She never seems interested in it. Okay, so those are all the books that I'm gonna go put up on Alice's bookshelf. And we always read books like before nap and before nighttime. And so she is constantly, you know, reading all these books and just absolutely loves them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and seeing like hopefuls that obviously I have on my TBR and Alice will definitely get to on her TBR. If you like this video, definitely let me know so that way I know to make more of these, and I hope you're excited to see what I'm reading, and I promise I will try and talk, wrap up, or do something so that way you know what I think about these books. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye everyone.